Everybody, it's Invicta. It's time to another run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Friday, Mosh Pit. I hope you all had a good start to your weekends here. We are still waiting for another video to cross that finish line. The couple videos are so close, like 1.8, 1.7K on the like streak goal. So make sure you go check those out. Also, people have been, once again, resurfacing, telling me that the videos are not showing up on your main feed. So please make sure you double check the homepage in case you're not seeing the daily videos show up on your feed. We always release them at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 10 a.m. Morning time, Pacific time. Yes, sir, morning time. So make sure you just double check the main channel because that's where they're going to be. Here's your meme of the day here, brought to you by Prestigious Turn 268. Once again, bring us another banger. This time, the title thread was Invicta's recent Final Floor Eden models, but they get more and more unhinged. Zombie Ninja, Lazy Bertha, and the Heck Raisers. World's unholiest slice of pizza. Stop recording me! Biblically accurate Greedon. And then Holy Mother of Mercy. Yeah. I think that the final one with the I don't think that was Tainted Lilith. I think that was just Maw the Void plus Jupiter. Yeah, that one's horrible. Well, we've got Ipecac again. Okay. Whiskey Sierra, Mike Sierra, Bravo Victor 27. We've got Ipecac once again. Our shot speed is crazy good for Ipecac anyway, but the problem is that our tears rate, good lord, 0.68 is abysmal. So I don't know how we ended up getting that. Also, our movement speed is really, really bad too. So yeah, this is gonna be something. I actually don't want piercing shots for Ipecac. Reason being is because it's easier to aim for me when the tears are circular, and I know that sounds dumb, but like that's legitimately the reason why I don't want piercing. Plus, you just don't need piercing on Ipecac. Yeah, these two hits right there were a direct result of our horrific movement speed. So we are going to be really, really hoping that we get, what the hell is that? A golden, oh, it's a golden curse penny. Increased chance of being teleported to a special room. Well, oh. I don't think I've ever seen the golden curse penny. I thought that was the burnt penny for a second that was gold. And I knew it was gold, but... Okay, so... I wouldn't mind getting school bag. That way we can actually take something else with us in our Mama Mega. But yeah, this is one of the few times you will not see me pick up piercing shots. I think piercing shots are great most of the time. It's kind of a preference thing. You don't have to take piercing with Ipecac. So I'm not going to. We get the school bag here, which of course is going to give us a second slot for, a second slot for our active item, and we are going to need all of the HP. How much HP do we need on this run? All of it. Because we are most likely going to not only hit ourselves, but also get hit by a lot of things due to our movement speed, or lack thereof. Well, we have Golden Mama Mega, so... Let's go ahead and drop the curse penny here real quick, just because I do not want to teleport every single time we pick up a coin yet. And I have no clue where the super secret is. I'm not going to go back in the shop because I don't want to destroy our... I don't want to destroy our donation machine. Where the hell is this super secret room? You do know there has to be one on the floor, right, game? If it's off the shop, I'm going to be real mad. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I was going to say. We'll take the cursed penny back, and we should destroy this first boss. Yeah, Baby Plum is baby dead, because we used Mama Mega as well. We'll take the golden heart, we'll take the HP, and we'll head on down. We're going to last week's question of the episode. This one coming in from the Leftovers episode, which I had a lot of fun describing to Alex with. This one came in from Hayden Kipp, who said, question of the episode, what mob has caused you the most damage in all your time playing Isaac? That one, I have to say, I'd love to say something silly like, oh, it's pins. Oh, it was mini stros. Oh, it were blorbs. No, the answer far and away. Oh my gosh, far and away, the number one answer to that is spiders. Regular, little tiny attack spiders. These right there, by far, have caused me the most damage. You know, it's again, you think about. How many times have we been schmooved on? How many times have we seen a spider? Dude, I'm not playing this game. How many times have we seen a spider actually just, you know, walk its way through, let's say, I don't know, a rock, and catch us off guard, or we didn't have the movement speed, or they land right on top of us? You know, you compare that to, yes, the annoying and somewhat dangerous, like Mullibooms, for example, or better yet, you know, Mask of Infamies. Those are horrible. Those are god awful. But they do not even hold a candle to how much damage I have personally taken from spiders. Regular old spiders. It's not even a question. I mean, it's a great question though, of course, and thank you very much for it, Aiden. But yeah, I know it's not an exciting answer. And you notice I didn't even have to hesitate answering that either. That was an easy slam dunk of a question there, because spiders are awful. Mask of Infamies are awful. You know, mini stros are terrible. Blorbs are annoying and awful as well. But these guys right there, the most basic enemy in the entire game, is going to be your arch nemesis. I think I should be able to walk out now that I've cleared it. I do want to go back and get the cursed penny though. I haven't been utilizing the cursed penny on this floor yet because we just haven't needed to. We've had mapping, or we already did the full clear. But I am definitely going to be doing some golden teleport meta, this is going to be interesting. And I'm curious to see if it's more viable with a golden cursed penny to get where we want to be. Let's see. Yeah, well, it took us nowhere, but that's fine, game. The cursed penny will teleport us to random rooms whenever we pick up a coin, and the rarity or the denomination of that coin will determine greatly where you get put. And that was from the most recent Repentance Plus patch, which is now no longer recent. So it was a pretty significant nerf to the item because you could just go ham with the teleports, and you just don't know where you're going to go. Now, most of the time, if you get a penny, you're going to get taken straight to the next room that you haven't been into, something like that. But with a golden cursed penny, now we get to hopefully get a better chance of going to a boss room, going to a IMR room sometimes, maybe. I knew you were going to do that, Pin. Another movement speed here. All right, we are definitely good on the movement speeds now. I'm going to take Rotten Baby, and I'm also surprisingly going to take Sack Dagger, and I'll explain why in a moment. Rotten Baby, obviously, we're just taking it just to take him. You know, high base damage. He's going to be able to take down lots of enemies very quickly. But why Sack Dagger? Well, Sack Dagger represents a little bit more safety for our close range, where we lack safety, which is things getting into our melee range. And Sack Dagger will allow me to essentially have some kind of defense to protect myself when things get a little bit too close. I don't have to use Ipecac because Ipecac, while it is it's our greatest strength, it's also our greatest weakness right now. We're lucky that we don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, we got another golden Mama Mega. Just golden Mama Mega Central here. Pop. To our super secret room, which gives us an Eternal Heart. Nice. We're lucky on this run that we're not confined to having bad damage. Yes, our tears rate is terrible, but it's not the... We're going to be fine because of our damage. The biggest problem is going to be us hitting ourselves with Ipecac, and suffice to say, I think that's also, that has probably ended more people's runs than helped them at the end of the day. Let's see what this dice room is. Yeah. I'm tempted to use this one room, but there's no reason to. We have a very, very strong run right now. And, yeah, man, I don't... Part of me wants to re-roll just so I don't have to deal with Ipecac, plus we just had an Ipecac run. But at the same time... we also haven't really gotten Ipecac in a long time. So December really giving us gifts that we just keep receiving over and over again. It's been a very generous month. Tis the season, everybody. Here goes Bambino, no problem. Shot speed. We don't actually need any more shot speed, and we definitely don't want range. So I'm going to fade this, and we'll just move on. So used to seeing Mama Mega now, it's kind of weird not having all the rooms just immediately explode for us. I watched the... No spoilers. Just let me get ahead of this right now. I watched the first episode of Stranger Things Season 5. And one of the first things I said was... They're still in like, high school? I'm going to take Mr. Dolly because we need the tiers up, even though it's a range upgrade. Are they still in high school or middle school? It's hard to tell. It was very weird to see Finn Wolfhard and the other boys still riding bicycles. You know, when they're very clearly getting to young adult status. So that was a little bit jarring, but you know, it's a neat universe that they've made. It's just one of those. It's just one of those shows that took forever to get back in syndication, and it's almost like, well, the hype is kind of sailed for me anyway. That's how it is. But it wasn't unenjoyable seeing how things were in the 80s and the overall atmosphere of everything. Plus, I mean, Winona Ryder is just awesome. It felt like we're seeing sort of almost like a spin-off of itself, you know, because it has been so long since the show had been on. But it was enjoyable. I didn't hate it. Let's see where you take us. This is a nickel, and that takes us to the arcade. Okay. Drop the cursed penny. Let's go get some moolah because we're below premium item right now. Why did the golden heart glow there? We didn't take any damage on our soul heart. Look at that. Perfect. Right back in. I'm going to do something a little crazy. I'm going to put money back into our donation machine now because I have a feeling that it's going to blow up with the Mama Mega use. Most likely soon. So we end up only gaining 7 cents there, but still, we put some money back in the donation machine. I feel good about that. And there's no reason for us to use Cursed Penny here, so those of you who don't like Cursed Penny, rejoice. We have mapping, so the only thing that Cursed Penny is going to do at this point is just be a convenience or a teleport to get out of, like, say, a challenge room. But it's always cool to see friends, even if they're actors, of course, but see friends from childhood and how they interact with each other, and they, you know, just one of my favorite scenes from season 1 was when all the boys are just playing D&D and just sort of being kids and you know, talking about the game and everything. Like that's not something that a lot of people get. And even though it's a movie show type setting, it's still neat to see, you know. I didn't have any friends like that growing up. the only reason why I'm even sort of reminded of something like that, well, I guess we just don't get deals today. Only reason why I was kind of reminded of that is I went to a neighbor's get together. I don't want to say it wasn't really a house party, but it was just a get together. Like they all had their kids and everything, and I was just kind of there, like, yeah, cool. You know, ain't no babies over here. It's cool to be able to hang out with people, meeting new neighbors and that sort of thing is really awesome. It kind of made me feel a little bit more like, okay, it's not just me and my neighbors who I'm friends with. It's me and these people all lived in the same neighborhood, but just different parts of the neighborhood. And it was very refreshing is what I'm trying to get at. Like almost like we were all playing poker and we ended up playing a game of Secret Hitler with each other. I was Hitler twice in a row. I don't know how that kept happening. And I was playing with a bunch of newbies, except for my neighbor friends, the ones that I previously knew. And so his wife was immediately always suspicious of me just because I'm too good at the game. And I ended up losing the first game because my partner was she literally had never even heard of the game before, and I kind of taught her. I taught everybody who didn't know because it's just easier for me to describe it rather than someone else. But the second game, I absolutely bamboozled my friend's wife, who was always suspicious of me in that game. Absolutely, she handed me the Chancellor. The Chancellor tile she was the president. She nominated me Chancellor, and I was like, yeah, this is GG right here. And I absolutely fooled all of them. And then she said she didn't want me to play anymore with them. I was like, okay. She only like sort of half meant it, but I know that she was upset. She felt really betrayed. But I play the game well. What can I say? You know, the first time we played that game was on Co-optional Lounge with TB and Jesse and Dodger and all them. Or no, Dodger wasn't there. It was Maggie. It was Maggie and Jenna and a couple other people. You know, it's been that was my first introduction to social engineering games and stuff, or social deduction games, not engineering. You eventually become an engineer, but yeah, and that was always kind of a reminder whenever something like that happens where I'm playing with non-gamers. Does that make sense? I'm playing with just parents, just like a mom and dads, and I'm just playing games on which seem natural and easy to me, and I got to remind myself, oh, these are real people. They're not online all the time. Like they don't know what streaming is. They don't know whatever, you know. It's a stark reminder to myself to say, not everyone on the internet is everyone in the world, thankfully. And seeing people this week sharing on Discord, on Reddit, on YouTube, and sending me messages showing me their Twitch recaps and YouTube recaps, it makes me appreciate how many people like my content and make it a part of their lives, like every single day. I did not mean to teleport out of there. That's an eternal fly, by the way. So we have to kill all mobs in here before the eternal mob can be taken out. And you're seeing the very reason right there we got Rotten Baby is what you just saw. He is there to take us and keep us safe in the in close quarter combat situations. I guess the question now is, where do we go? Where and when do we use Mama Mega? Because we're definitely going to make boss rush. The answer is I don't know. Probably Womb 2, I would say. Maybe Womb 1. It is fun to kind of look for a golden bomb, though. We've already used 2 Mama Megas this episode. Can we use a 3rd time without actually losing her? That'd be cool. That'd be fun. If we end up getting the jar of everything or something like that, that is a pretty cracked combo. One of the few combos that I will say for the jar of everything is actually, you know, useful. The reason why I have something against the jar of everything is just because the final payout is so garbo. Actually garbo. Like, can we... I'm pretty sure we can open up chests with the broken padlock. By hitting them with Ipecac. There's a Tinder Rock right there. Trying to hide from me. Wouldn't mind to get another HP upgrade here. Even though we haven't been to the shop yet, this is a huge depths. Stock. We've got time to lollygag here because we've got the Fool card already. And this is a, yeah, this is a big depths too. That's a ridiculously sized one. But going back to it, I'll end by just saying again, thank you everybody. I'm always, this time of year, I'm always so humbled and very reminded as to why I do this. You know, I've had, you know, everyone has ups and downs in life. You know, and 2025 has been great. It's been awesome. There's definitely been more ups than downs, and there are days where sometimes I'm just not feeling it. You know, I kind of feel not forced, but I kind of feel like I just want to just chill for the day, and there's work to be done. I laughingly call work still, but it's reaffirming and reassuring that real people still watch my channel. In a world that's being increasingly less real, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to say that we have true organic growth here on this channel, and it's still populated by very good people. Okay, game. All right, Curse Penny, you're starting to lose me now. We're kind of wasting time here, son. We need you to lock in. I need you to take me closer to the boss. Okay, well, that's... I guess that works. Okay. All right, whatever you do, brain, just don't hit anything, any coin on the ground yet. Look at the damage here coming from Rotten Baby. Big, chunky damage there. Here we go. Take the Polaroid and no. Oh, I mean, we gotta. Yeah, it's a 24 damage upgrade. There's a double Tinder Rock in here. Can you spot it? See if you can spot the double Tinder Rock before I clear this room. Made it easy for you. It is right. There. Look how easy that was. Oh, Monstro, no. I'm not going to play your game. Not going to do it. You guys can keep this. That's why we need the Polaroid right there. With this much damage, you would be maybe surprised to see what the explosion radius of Ipecac is at this level of damage. So Curse Penny, now's the time to be our big time player, because we're gonna be skipping some stuff here. No, I'm just gonna stay far away from those chests because I will forget immediately that I have the Curse Penny. We could use Mama Mega now. Let's see where this takes us. Let's get our Soul Heart here from Matchbook. I'd say that's a pretty darn good teleport right there. I was talking to Day 9 earlier today about blueprints, and those of you who are a fan of that series, the Blueprint series is still one of my favorite because it came out of kind of nowhere for me, and I was surprised with how much enjoyment I got out of that game until it started becoming a little bit frustrating. And anyway, I was talking to Sean, and he explained to me the other two solutions that I could not get in the gallery, in the painting room. And the way he described it was very, very intelligent. Like, I mean, of course, it's day 9. Like, Sean's one of the smartest guys I know. But the way that his thought process kind of worked into how he came up to the conclusion that he was in. All the Void is a death trap, by the way, for Ipecac. Don't take it unless you have explosion immunity. The way that he ended up doing that was awesome. It was more logic than I could ever come up with. And you know, I think that some people are just built differently when it comes to figuring out puzzles and stuff. Oh my gosh. Time. It took us to the devil deal. Oh. Not gonna give you an option. Not gonna let you do it, Krampus. Oh, we have another chance of getting that dime, wherever that was. It was not here. So I think people are just built different for that kind of thing, and I am not. Because the way that he solved those two remaining paintings, I got 2 of them on my own, and his logic was the same logic that I used for them. And I'm not going to sit here and spoil it because I know that people are still playing the game. But at least I felt a little encouraged that my thought process was indeed the same one that he used for those 2. It was just the last 2, the ones that I couldn't figure out that Sean explained. And I was like, man, that's incredible. When you know you're talking to a very smart person. I don't really know if I'm a smart person or not. I know that I'm intelligent, but I don't know how smart I am. That makes sense. I never really considered myself to be... No. Okay, Curse Penny, where are we going? Where are we going? This feels like the right way, but it doesn't feel like the right way. Yep, it was not. Spoiler alert, it was not the right way. In those kind of junctions there, you're best off using just Sack Dagger. Hey! Curse Penny says, I got you, bro. We know it's a Krampus fight because we've already been in there. Let's go see old Hushy. This might be a terrible idea. Day 9 is one of my favorite people to talk to and interact with. Been a fan of Sean's for a very long time, and it's gonna be an interesting play here. Ooh, that's a very interesting play. I've been a Day 9 fan since the beginning of my StarCraft obsession. I'm gonna drop Cursed Penny just in case that there's some random coin that shows up in here. Because the last thing that I want is to have to fight Hush again. Now I was kind of hoping that we would get, excuse me. Kind of hoping we were gonna get 4.5 volt. 9 volt works though, for wooden nickel. It didn't work for sulfur. Gives you a full charge and that's it. The Hush is not attacking us right now. He's attacking Lostfly. Because Lostfly has a sort of a soft taunt to him. The meeting with the voice acting stuff went very, very well. It's one of 3. I did not know there was going to be 3 this week, all in a row. Which this is coming out on Friday, so the last workshop has already been out, has already been over and done with. But I just got done attending the first one, and it was pretty much what I expected it to be. There were some good eats, some good tech that I learned from the speaker, though. I did get my question answered when it came up to accents and stuff, and I was very appreciative of that. And you know, speaking to someone who's actually accomplished in the industry is very eye-opening sometimes. And you know, I learned a little bit about myself too. You know, I need to get over the cringe factor, because that's definitely that's my biggest hurdle is just cringing my brain out, because I hear myself speak in this goofy voice, which at least it's goofy to me. And I guess the biggest takeaway I can say from that meeting is that studios are less concerned, not necessarily with the voice, but with the way that the character is portrayed, making sure that the actor knows the character. And I didn't realize this, but it makes sense. The host who was doing all this, he said that sticking as close to your normal speaking voice is the goal. And then you can manipulate it from there, but you don't have to go all goofy with it. Like, a hook, you know. Now, of course, some roles are going to call for that. Some roles are going to ask for a Shakespearean-esque level of exaggeration or silliness or whatever. And I honestly don't know what type of roles I would be good at. I've always thought I'd have a good hero voice, but I would also make a good villain voice. And the more I thought about that, I was like, man, you know, some of those villain voices really are more memorable than the hero voice. Like Orochimaru, for example, from Naruto. His voice was so recognizable and excellently played. Although in Shippuden, I don't know if it was the same voice actor or not, because it sounded totally different to me. Ironically, it sounded absolutely, positively different. Someone in the mosh pit will have to confirm that, but it's just an example, you know, of a villain that was more memorable than some of the standout, some of the mains. You know, you have Jesse and James from Team Rocket. You know, I mean, of course, everyone knows Ash's voice and Brock and Misty and stuff, but when I think of those two, I think of how over the top the English dub of James's voice is. You know, James, and that's the stuff. Oh, it's not over here. I'm surprised. We were on the right path. I apologize for just besmirching you, Cursed Penny. How could I? And I kind of was thinking that I might vibe more with the villain characters. I think Isaac is actually over here. Maybe not being evil. That's not what I mean, obviously. What I'm talking about is just understanding their backstories a little bit better, and I don't know. I don't know what type of voice actor I would be. Or yeah, let's put it this way: if I could pick the type of character that I would be typed as my main sort of strong suit, I would honestly probably pick villain more so than hero, but I'm a hero character at heart. So I always like playing the good guys. I like playing the Care Bear, traditional hero, brave, that sort of thing, because that's how I am in IRL. And I'm not saying that bro thinks he's the main character of the plot type deal in life. I'm just saying I've always rooted for the good guys. But there are some... I'm more of an anti-hero fan. I think that's probably the best way to describe my favorite type of personality. Good with a little bit of bad. You know, I like the Vic Mackeys of the world. I cannot think of him. Maybe not Sasuke, because he wasn't really a... I don't know. I not a Sasuke enjoyer. Just that archetype has always been interesting to me. Careful. You know, a little, just a good enough, but a little bit bad. But I also really like. I'm a huge Charles Dance fan. Sir Charles Dance of Game of Thrones and Godzilla fame as Tywin Lannister. He's my favorite character in Game of Thrones by far. And he is not a good character, obviously. He's not anything. There's no heroic type deals about him. But I've always liked the way he does things. Very traditional, very by the book. You know, that sort of keeping the status quo or whatever however you want to describe his character as being. That stuff has always kind of appealed to me in terms of being a character actor. And I think I would do pretty well with that. One of the points that the host pointed out was, he said, you know, it's important to understand the character's motivations, yada yada yada, from a standpoint of you are the character. So the more that you relate to the character you're playing, the easier it is going to be to convey that role. I mean, that just makes sense, right? So thinking about that, I'm just like, man, you know, I think I might be an anti-hero type character. It was very interesting, and I'm looking forward to hopefully talking more about the project eventually. It's a long ways out, so if you're expecting anything crazy, don't. They're years from development. But I'm looking at this as a good example, or a good opportunity to get a start in the industry. I've already met a lot of cool people who already do voice acting, obviously, so utilizing their help is going to be great. I did speak to Matthias, and we're going to have a powwow next week, which is great. I always love talking to him. Matthias Bossi, another one of my favorite people of all time. Matthias is such a great dude. If you ever get a chance to meet him, take it, because Matthias is one of the most authentic, genuine people I've ever met in music or in entertainment. Solid dude. He's one of my top people, and of course an extremely talented musical artist as well. So thank you for watching, everybody. We got ourselves it's just another Ipecac run. What can I say? December continuing to pop off here, as this is now, what, I would say 4 out of 5 runs that we've really sort of destroyed with, and December's shaping up to be pretty nice. Although I will say that, you know, with Isaac and everything and RNG, it could be the game trying to give us a false sense of hope. Yeah, let's do Delirium. Come on, it's Friday. All right, Curse Penny, you got a big job to do here. Well, before we take any pennies, let's first get a full charge. Just in case we get taken to Delirium immediately, which is not going to happen. Look at the size of this void. Holy mother of God. Wow, that is a void. What is this? What is this hallway, dude? That hallway that we're going towards right now takes up more screen than Isaac times 5. Like, that's just a tower. Yeah. I do want to see what's up here. I'm going to leave coins behind that we use the wooden nickel for. Maybe like a scavenger hunt. And at the end of all of it, I bet the Delirium is not even up here. Actually, no, he has to be up. He's either going to be up here or he's going to be all the way over there, basically where I'm pointing, that right there. Those are the only two places on the map. I guess he could be far south too. Because that's the only places that I can see anyway that could spawn a conceivable 2x2 room. It's not going to be this one. 100% guarantee this is not going to be Delirium because a 2x2 room cannot fit in this spot on the map. So this is 100% not Delirium. Latchkey. We're going for the low-hanging fruit here. We're going to the obvious choice. But going back to what I was talking about at the beginning, everyone, please check your notification bell. This is not a ploy to get you to do so. I do not receive any additional revenue or anything like that for getting people to use the notification bell. I don't want people missing out on videos. And I don't know if the channel has been re-shadow banned for whatever reason. I have no clue. At this point, I'm past the point of trying to understand how the algorithm determines what goes where for people. I'm so mad that this is not Delirium. So I implore you, please check your notification bells, your notification settings on YouTube. Make sure you're not watching on restricted mode or anything like that. All of that will prevent this channel from showing up. And the restricted thing especially is still mystifying, but for whatever reason, oh wow, I think it just took us to Delirium. I didn't even just, well, this was my next prime target. For whatever reason, Isaac is still considered a mature game. It's got that mature 18 plus label or whatever. And I think that honestly, that has a lot to do with some of the struggles that we see getting placed on the algorithm these days. And if you notice that tag, the mature tag for Isaac, did not start until 2023. So it's just a reminder, you know, that to everybody, just how difficult. You may think it's easy. Nothing's easy, but you know, all that kind of stuff. There's no backup plan. There's no insurance policy. There's no union of streamers or YouTubers that are protected by some kind of rights. It's just we are normal people just doing what we do, and your support means everything. Not that much akin from a starving artist type deal. Even though, of course, thankfully, I'm not starving. As you can tell by my profile pictures. Anyway, I like to eat. Everyone knows I love to eat. People don't like my food takes, and maybe it's because I make myself sound so opinionated about certain things. But Brazil and Germany, you still need to get out of you. Brazil, Germany, and England especially, y'all just need to get the hell out of the kitchen. Quit submitting stuff on Scrandle, and please go watch someone who knows how to make stuff. Because man, some of the things I've seen on Scrandle are just pure nightmare fuel. I had to interject with a little Scrandle burn at the very end of the run. So thank you for watching, everyone. Again, December continues to kick butt for us. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button. And one final reminder, again, please check your notification settings and making sure you're not watching on restricted mode here on YouTube, as that does affect the visibility of the channel. And I hope you have a great start to your Friday. We're one away, everybody. Let's make it happen before Sunday so we can start Missing No Week right on time again. I know it's going to happen, so let's make it happen. So thank you again, everybody. As always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like Ox the Witcher, Ode Ode, Bataloid, and Kuroi Tenshi. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Invicta.